Hello.
Hi, Harun. How are you?
Yeah, hi, Homa. Hi, good morning. I'm good. Uh, okay, so you're able to see my screen?
Yes, I can see you have a dashboard.
All right. Okay,
Uh,
yeah,
right now, again, okay, yes, now it's coming back.
all right. Okay, so let me recap what we covered in the last session. So in the last sessions, we covered the functional overview of Microsoft Dynamics CRM with an example of Samsung, how we are going to do an advertisement marketing, sales, and service. How do we provide marketing, sales, and service? Now, on top of the sales, marketing, and service, there is a new feature added called service management in Dynamics CRM. This is from 2015 onwards, service management in Dynamics CRM. Service management is the enhancement to the service model. Service management is an enhancement to the service module. So how do you as a business manage the service level agreement? How you can utilize Dynamics CRM to manage the multiple SLAs against a case and monitor the performance against them. Dynamics CRM provides the ability to manage the sales activity, marketing activity, and service activity. So an SLA, service level agreement, determines the level of the service you will provide to your customer. A level of the service can be dependent on a number of factors, including but not limited to. So whether the customer is entitled to a service via entitlement, an entitlement could be something you sell or is included in a product offering that you get 9 out of 5 service with a response time of 8 hours. 9 out of 5 service with a response time of 8 hours. So based on the attribute of the customer, that is high value customer, you're going to provide X service level based on the attribute on the customer. If a high value customer is there, you're going to provide X service level, and if a low value customer is there, then you're going to provide Y service level. So based on the attribute on the case, that is if the priority or the severity is high, then provide X level of the service. If the priority or severity is high, then provide the X level of the service. So example, let's take an example. If a case is created through a tutor, then you're going to respond in 2 hours. If a case is created through a phone call, then you're going to say 24 hours. 24 hours. If a case is created through email, 48 hours. So those type of configurations we can do by using this SLS. Now there are two types of SLAs which we can create in Dynamics CRM: a standard SLA and the enhanced SLA. The standard SLA were introduced as a part of 2013, and it requires a lot of manual steps. It requires a lot of manual steps, and enhanced SLA were introduced in 2015, and most of the process can be done automated. And Microsoft recommends that if you have not used an SLA till date, if you have not used SLA till date, Microsoft recommends to use the enhanced SLA over the standard SLA. Okay, next term, to create an SLA, we have the 5 entities, that is customer service calendar. So customer service calendar defines the business hours. Customer service calendar defines the business hours to be used in the SLA calculation. So business can have multiple calendars to support, that is SLA 24 by 7, 5 days a week, a customer specific calendar. Then next we have the entitlements. Entitlements defines the agreed number of the cases or the time that has been contracted with the customer for support. Entitlement can only be associated to one SLA, and SLA can be associated to many entitlements. The next comes the service configuration. Service configuration defines which status place on SLA on hold. Note that the pause and resume status apply to all SLA and thus are not SLA specific. Holiday schedule defines the dates that are considered as a holiday in a particular region. Defines the dates that are considered as a holiday in a particular region. If you work in multiple regions, then you may have multiple holiday schedules. Service agreement defines the rules that apply to the agreement when the SLA is triggered. So when and what should occur if the SLA is successful, non-compilants are nearing the non-compilancy. So these are the 5 entities to configure an SLA in Dynamics CRM. So to configure the SLA, we'll go to the CRM instance. I'll go to the CRM instance here. So we go to settings and we go to the service management. So here we have a tab called service management. Now these are the 5 entities, that is service level agreement, holiday schedule, customer service schedule, entitlements and service configuration setting. So first let me create an holiday schedule. So we are going to define the holidays in the system. Let's say New Year is there, any national holiday is there, on that day the support team is not available, that we are going to configure here. I'm going to say here New Year. New Year. Next, I'm going to create here customer service schedule. So we are going to define the customer service schedule like 24/7 service or 5 days a week service that we are going to configure here. CSR. So here we have an option like 24/7 support or 5 days a week. 5 days a week. So that we are going to set the working hours. So working hours is from 8 to 5 p.m. and 12 to 1 there is a 12:30 to 1 there is a break. So we can add the breaks and then configure the customer service support calendar. Now next we go to the service management. So here we are going to have the service configuration settings, that any status which is on hold, for those status the SLA will not trigger. So that we are going to configure here. So any status which is on hold, the SLA will not trigger, that we are going to configure here. Next we have service level agreement. So here I'm going to create a new SLA. Samsung SLA. So we have an option here that is enhanced SLA or standard SLA. So Microsoft recommends to use the enhanced SLA over the standard SLA because of most of the things can be automated. Okay, next I'm going to save this one. So next step is that we have the SLA details. I'm going to add the SLA detail here. Samsung SLA. Okay, now when this SLA should get triggered, we have an option here. When this SLA should be triggered, so we can define here case status contains data. Case status contains data, and if it is successful, what we have to do, and if it is a failure, what we have to do. That automations we are going to do here. So what I'm going to say, that success criteria, on what basis we are saying that the case is completed, our case is success. Just a moment. Okay, so here we have the success criteria. On what basis we are going to say that this record is completed successfully. So I'm going to say that case status equal to resolve. Case status is equal to resolve. We are going to say that success criteria. And if it is successful, what you want to do it? I want to send out an email. Saying that the SLA is completed successfully. So set the properties from CRM admin to the case owner. So right now we don't have the data. So from and to, I'll use the CRM admin only. Okay, SLA is completed successfully. SLA is successfully. SLA is completed successfully. Okay, next after so here we have the tag time. SLA failure after 1 hour, you want to trigger something, or after 5 minutes, or 15 minutes, or 1 day, 2 day, 3 days. So we'll go with the least time, that is 5 minutes. We'll go with the least times. Failure time is 5 minutes. If the SLA is not resolved within 5 minutes, then we'll trigger out an email. We'll trigger an email saying that the SLA is failed. So I'm going to trigger an email and saying that SLA is failed. So from CRM admin to CRM. I'm going to say SLA is failed. SLA is failed. Next, if SLA is failed, assign record. I want to assign this record. Change the ownership of the record. Change the ownership of the record. So here I'll go to this one. And I'm going to create a team here, a new team called escalation team. Go here, CRM Mac, save it. Manage role, at least one security role is required for a team. So I just added a security role. Okay, now what I'm doing is, if the case is not resolved within 5 minutes, an email will be triggered and the case owner will get changed to the escalation team. Okay, next we'll have a warning. So we'll give the least time, that is 1 minute. Add a step in the warning, that sending out an email.
So you are creating email based on the trigger, right?
Yes, this automation, we are doing automation.
Okay.
Set properties from CRM to CRM. Warning, remaining 4 minutes to resolve the case. 4 minutes to resolve the case. Okay, now we are done with this changes. Let me save and close. And then I'm going to activate it. Next, we'll go back to the service management. So what we did, we configured the SLA, holiday schedule, customer service, and service configuration settings. Next, we have the entitlements. So entitlements are the agreed number of the cases that has been contracted with the customer. So it's an advanced version of the contract management. Entitlement is an advanced version of the contract management. So I'm going to create a blank entitlement. So we'll say here Samsung entitlement. Customer is the same customer with whom we did the sales, marketing, and service. Adventure work is a customer. And what is the duration of the customer? That is from 1st June till 31st October. And SLA, I'm going to associate an SLA. Now here we have an option here. Now when you say this one, let me save this one. So total number of the cases, we are going to say 2 cases in this support. One, what we are going to say, 1 phone call support. One phone call support and 1 email support. One phone call and 1 email support, we are going to provide it. Restrict, yes, we are going to say here, restricted based on the entitlement. Yes. So we are going to provide in this contract 2 supports. One is through phone call and one is through email. Now I'm going to activate this one. So we are done with the configuration. Now we'll go back to the service module and if custom. Yes,
you have activated that contract, right?
yes, entitlement.
In then what is, I see the products on the right side.
Yes, products is optional, but if you want, you can associate a product at the contract level also.
Mm-hmm.
It's an optional.
Okay, yeah, it was. I see that it was optional, but I'm wondering how the products work on this one, the contract, because we have a
You can
concept of
associate. Yeah, you can associate a product at the contract level.
Okay. So can you please scroll down all the way to the end? I see the documents on the here today's insights assistant, and there are currently no insights. What is this for?
There is a new feature called Insights, like who has logged in, at what time they have logged in. Customer Insights.
Okay. 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 Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we'll go back to the service module. In the service module, we'll go to the cases here, and I'm going to create a new case here. And I'm going to create a case here. Customer unable to connect. Subject technical, display related issue. Customer is the adventure work is the customer. Origin, what we will say, phone call. And then I'm going to say entitlements here. I selected the entitlement. Now let me save this one. So if you notice here, an SLA will trigger here. So we have given the least time. We have given the least time, that is 5 minutes. So a countdown will start here. And then if the 5 minutes is completed, an email will be triggered.
Okay.
So if the case is not resolved within 5 minutes, right now owner is the CRM MAC, right? It will get changed to escalation team. So now let me refresh here. So this color got changed because this is in warning. So an email got triggered. So you can also see in the email activities. You can go to the activities and see.
Sorry, yeah, sorry, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so here this is the email got triggered. Now still it is in countdown. So we have 1 minute and 50 seconds. So this is a kind of a countdown to the customer care executive that this much time they have to resolve the case. If they don't resolve the case during this period of time, an escalation may happen, and then whatever the automations we have done, that will get triggered. Okay, so here now the SLA is failed. So if the SLA is failed, the owner will get changed to the escalation team. So right now, who is the owner? Still the workflow is in pending. So we can go to the activities and see the email will get triggered. All activities. Still the email is not triggered. So this is an asynchronous job. It'll take time to execute. Now, if you notice here, the SLA is failed, and if the SLA is failed, we can trigger other logic and do automations, so like sending out an email or sending out an SMS or going back and updating some record with a flag. So here, origin is what? Phone call is an origin. Now, if another customer calls up, so now let me go here and I'm going to create a new record here. Next, we have another customer. So here, Adventure works as the customer calls up with a problem. Entitlement I'm going to select here. Now save it. What is the phone call origin? Phone call I'm going to save it. Now if you see here, we have 4 minutes 48 seconds. Now I'm going to say resolve case. Resolved, and I say resolved here. Case is resolved and SLA will become successful. So here SLA is completed successfully. Next, if I go and create a new record, customer unable to connect, and the customer is the Adventure work is the customer, and the origin I'm going to select phone call. Entitlement, if you see here, I selected this entitlement and click on save button. What it is saying that cannot associate a case to an entitlement because there is one phone support was there, and that so phone support is already utilized it. There was one phone support and that phone support is already utilized it. Now if I go back and change the phone to email, and then it will allow us. If I go back and change phone to email, then it will allow us because there is one email support available. Now when you go back to the Adventure works, each and everything you will be able to track with the customer. That is, with this customer, how many contacts are there, how many cases are there, how many opportunities are there, each and everything you will be able to track with the customer. Clear? Any questions?
No, I'm good.
So at a high level,
Yeah.
whatever we did now, till now, from this first session, it's just a functional overview of customer relationship management, CRM, how CRM can be used in different industries. So whatever we covered is a high level functional flow. At a very high level, how we can start using the CRM and how we can interrelate with each module, that is marketing module, sales module, service module, and service management. Now, considering this as a base example, you can customize as per your business requirements. So do not think that every project should follow this one. This is the out of box behavior of the system. This is how the functionality will work. Now, considering this as a base functionality, you will be customizing as per your business requirements.
Right, yeah.
So clear? Any questions?
No questions.
All
We
right.
have this kind of in-house module, but we are trying to move to Dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so now to start with the customizations and configuration, first let me show you the high level architecture. So going further, I'm going to use a word called entity, attribute, and out of box. Going further, in the complete training, I'm going to use a word called entity, attribute, and out of box. So here you see like these are the modules, that is sales, marketing, service, field service, project service automations, resource scheduling. So these are all modules. Under each module, you have these entities, that is accounts, contacts, leads, opportunities, competitors, quotes, orders, invoices. These are all entities. And then under entities, These are all attributes, that is account name, main phone, address underscore city, primary contact. These are all attributes. And out of box is what this product is providing a feature. When I use a word called out of box, it means that the uh, out of box system provides this feature, and we don't require even a single line of code to develop that functionality. We don't require even a single line of code. When we are writing a code, then that feature is not out of box. When we are writing some code, that feature is not an out of box. Out of box is like without writing a single line of code, if we are able to achieve our requirement, then that feature is called out of box. Okay, next term, technically speaking, these entities are nothing but it's a table in database. So here in the on-premise, I'm showing you. So what exactly happens when you create an entity, whether it is an account entity, contact entity, or opportunity entity, or you can go and create a new entity also. You can go and create a new entity, or employee entity, department entity, project entity. So whenever you create an entity in database, it is going to create three tables. Technically speaking, entity is nothing but it's a table in database. But we don't have an option to see the table in online. Only in on-premise you can see the table. Only in on-premise you see the table. Every entity will have three tables. Under those three tables, one table is a physical table and two tables are the virtual tables. One is the physical table and the other two tables are the virtual tables. So if you go to the database, so every organization will have one database. So here in this example, we have demo underscore MSCRM. So similarly, in online also, you will have for each organization, you will have one database. And here I am going to select star from account. Next, we have select star from account base. Select star from filtered account. Select star from contact base, star from contact. So if you notice here, every entity will have three tables, whether it is an account, contact, lead, opportunity, or new entities when you are going to create, every entity will have three tables. Under these three tables, one table is a physical table and remaining two tables are the virtual tables. Virtual tables are nothing but those are the database views. Virtual tables are nothing but those are the database views. Physical table, base is the physical table, and these two are the virtual tables. Virtual tables are nothing but database views. So what is difference between a filtered account? So a common question asked in the CRM industry, what is filtered view or filtered account? Filtered view will filter the data based on the security role. Let's take an example. There are some 100 records and you are given a security role as a sales manager and you have access to only 10 records. When you query the base table, you will get all 100 records. But when you query the filtered contact, you get only 10 records because internally it is having a join with the security table and then rendering the data. Internally it is having a join with the security table and then rendering the data.
So one
Clear?
question here, yeah, a question, so we are using only the online version, right? We are not using the
Yes. On premise.
so yeah. For example, I'm a system admin. I want to query the table, so I can have the access to virtual table, correct?
No, you because you don't have the database access in online, and there is one feature called SQL Azure Past Instance Service. So if you enable that, then you can go to and integrate with Azure server, and then go to the database.
So I don't
Straightforwardly, there
need
is
to.
no way.
Oh, okay. So, just I'm comparing myself the Salesforce versus my Dynamics. In Salesforce, we have when you go to developer console, there you can see query the database. It's not really the database. I can see the virtual table. Correct. Do we
Yeah.
have option in
No, no,
Dynamics?
we don't. In Dynamics, you don't have in online. In online, you don't have that option. But
So
still,
if
if
I
you want to
see,
do the querying part, then you can use the advanced find here. So user
Mhm.
interface will be there, and using advanced find, you can do the querying part. So account is there, right? So you want to write any queries, you can go here, and then you can write a query. Account number contains data,
Okay.
and then on top of that, you want to apply a filter, one more filter, or put a join kind of a thing, and condition or condition.
Mhm.
So those all things you will be able to do. You have a user interface here. I'm going to put here. So if you see here, so
Mm.
here I can go here and select row and put or condition. Like this I can
Okay.
apply, or you can have a join condition. You want to join this one, so you can put a related entity. So
Okay. So yeah, I can see this
yeah,
so many people.
related is there here. Also related, we will have a relation with the contacts, and then contacts contain data.
All right. So what about you said one option that you can connect to Azure database? How that works?
That works with the Azure subscription. So you should have an Azure subscription.
Mm-hmm.
Then what you can do is that it creates a virtual database in Azure instance.
Okay. Right. Okay.
So this knowledge is only for technical purpose. See, when you start into development, right? When you say entity, what does entity mean? Entity is nothing but it's a table in database,
Right. Yeah, we
right?
use basically in my role. I do work with integration. Developer for integration. We have
Mhm.
many systems. So we do integrate. Based on the entities several. So that sometime we need to go to the back end to see get the IDs and those things. It's
And
not a
those things
problem.
you will be able to achieve everything with advanced find, and then there are some API calls. Going further, I'll show you how to get the IDs and then generate the IDs using API calls using JavaScript or C# code. You can generate the IDs or any retrieve method, or if you want to retrieve the database records. So there are different options. So only thing is that you don't have the physical database structure kind of a thing to go and see it.
Okay.
Apart from this, everything you'll be able to access it.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so clear? Any questions?
No, it's good.
All right. Okay, so now next, the attributes are nothing but these are the columns. Attributes are nothing but columns for the table. And out of box is what this product is providing a feature. If this product is not providing a feature, then we'll say that out of box it is not possible. Okay, next step is that what I'll do is I'll create a custom entity, and going further, whatever the features are there, dynamic CRM features are there, we will implement on that custom entity. So I'll start with the customizations. We go to customizations, customize the system, and here I'm going to create a new entity. A new entity I'm going to create. Okay, so I'll now, before starting this one, this is very, very important. See, whenever you are starting your development, first what we have to do is that we have to create a publisher. So here, this is the publisher. So we will have a different publisher. We'll have a different publisher. So what is our default publisher? Default publisher is having a prefix with neo. So what does it mean here is whenever you do any customizations, it will get prefix with neo, but it is not recommended to use a neo from the best practices point of view. We have to give a relevant project code, a relevant project code. because whatever we do, it will get prefixed with new. So here in this example, I'm giving SIT. So going further, whatever the customizations and development we do, that will get prefixed with SIT. Now, when do we have a scenario where we can have multiple publisher? Take an example. You have a project and that project is developed by two different vendors. So you have a vendor called Northeast, where vendor is there. So what they will do is that they will give a prefix called Northeast, and you have another vendor called Southeast. Southwest is there. He is from the Southwest. So what they will do, they will give the prefix as Southwest. So why we require this is like tomorrow, if you want to know what customizations and development done by a Northeast vendor, or what customizations and development is done by the Southwest vendors. So it is easily traceable.
Yeah. Yep.
So what we did for a default publisher, we change it to SIT. Now going further, whatever the customizations and development we do, that will get prefixed with SIT. So I'll go to customize the system.
So we do the integration, account. It's not system admin. We use that integration admin as for creating all these entities or any customization. Is that similar or is it different here?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Basically, you are creating a user, right? Publish user.
Publisher is different from a user. Publisher is like you are going to create some prefix for that customizations to identify what customizations is done by which team.
Okay. So what is the difference between, we do in other CRM, Salesforce CRM, we have an integration account for everything, oh, I see. No problem. I got it. Yeah. We have vendors, the vendor have a different group. Right. Yep. No problem. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So now I'm going to create a new entity. So here now, if you see here, this is coming as SIT. So if a vendor from Northeast, they create, what will come? Northeast. If a vendor from Southwest, they create, that will come as Southwest. Okay, so I'm going to create an entity called employee entity. Now this is very important again. We have an option whenever we create an entity. Whenever we create an entity, we have an option here to select a user or team or organization. So when do we go for user or team or organization? When do we go for user or team or organization? See, most of the software application has a master data and transactional data. Master data and transactional data. Master data is also called baseline data. Master data is also called the baseline data. Baseline data are taxonomy data. Example for the master data is like states, zip code, carrier, product, country. These are all master data. Why do we call as a master data for states, zip code, carrier, product? Because I cannot be the owner of a state, right? I cannot be the owner of a state. I cannot be the owner of a country. I cannot be the owner of a product, because this should be owned by or seen by everybody in the organization. This data, that is a country, states, zip code, carrier, product, these data should be owned and seen by everybody in the organization. We don't require any security to be implemented here. All the users should be able to see this data. So if you want such type of data in CRM, then we will go with the organization and based entities. And if you want security to be implemented, example, let's say every record is owned by an individual user or a team. Every record is owned by an individual user or a team, or we required some security to be implemented. some security to be implemented, then we go with the user or team. So in most of the scenario, we go with the user or team. And if it is a master data, then we go with the organization. Why it is important is once you create an entity, you cannot roll back these changes. You cannot roll back these changes. You cannot convert from user team to organization or organization to user or team. So here I'm going to select a user or team. Okay, now where do we want to show this entity? Under sales module or under service module or under marketing module? Now the primary field, I'll name it as first name.
But you can switch back anytime user to entity.
No, that is not possible. That is not possible.
Okay.
That is not possible. You have to delete and recreate it. You have to delete and recreate it, but you cannot change, switch back. You have to delete an entity and recreate an entity.
I think, yeah, the deleting is not our option because we something, some data, once you created an entity, just some data already integrated, with that entity.
That is a pain work. It is not that much easy for deleting an entity. It's a pain work.
Yeah. So ownership, I thought that we can switch back to organization.
No, that is not possible. That is not
so
possible.
How you give now? Right now, this entity is going to be under sales, right? I want to give this permission to.
That you can change. That you can change from sales to marketing to. But this ownership, I'm saying this ownership, that is user or team or organization.
Right now, your ownership you are giving user or team. I want to then now access that. Oh, okay. So you are saying it's going to be different. The module we can give it to anywhere. Oh, I see.
Yes, module you can change at any time.
Okay.
Module you can change at any time.
Okay, right. Yep.
Okay, now let me save this one. So technically what happens in the background is it creates 3 tables in databases. One is the physical table and 2 are the virtual tables.
Is this common for all CRM or only the Dynamics CRM? 3 tables?
Dynamics, only Dynamics.
Why Dynamics using 3 table concept?
Which one internally 3 table concept is they created a views. They created a views that what is the advantage of using views is internally they are already doing some joins and rendering the data.
Okay.
Okay, now this is done, right? So next what we will do is that
creating entity is for admin work. It's a kind of configuration screen, right?
No, this is a developer work. Creating an entity and doing the customizations, a development of work.
But here it looks like all the config screen drop downs and selected field, everything. Why admin can do this work?
Requires a developer effort knowledge for this one.
Okay, lot of logical thinking. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, now here. So now if you see here, you cannot change this one user or team. It is grayed out.
Right.
You cannot change from user or team. It is grayed out. So next step is it is mandatory to publish this one. If you don't publish, your changes will be lost.
So the color here, it's a green. What is the concept of having the color?
That is just for an entity. Like you can give any color here. You can give the color code here. So that should work out.
Okay.
Okay, now I published this one, right? After publishing this one, if I go to CRM instance, under sales module, I'll be able to see this entity. Go to sales module. We will see this one, this color, the green color, right? This you
Oh,
can
okay.
change it.
I see. Yes, yeah.
You can provide a color code and that will change it. So now if I go to employee entity, so here basic form is there, which is having only one field, and then MSDI I will enter, and then out of box system provide all the CRUD operations: create, update, retrieve, delete.
Mm.
Clear? Any questions?
So in this entity, you have only one, two
Yes.
field, right?
Right.
It
We'll continue with that one. Going next sessions, we'll continue with all the other features like adding more fields and then validations,
okay.
hiding visibility.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's what I'm coming for. Okay, yep. So
So next
basically,
session,
you
continue.
are so
So whatever the our topics are there, will continue from here itself. All the other features will implement on this entity.
right. Okay, thank you. So we have a class tomorrow, same time, this
Yeah,
time
we'll have
or
it same time. We'll have it 8 to 9.
eight. Is it possible to your time 8:30 or no? Only 8.
8:30. Actually, some discrepancy happened only for week. 1 week. If
Hmm.
8:15 to 9:15 also, I'll be available. 8:15 to 9:15 my time. But
Okay.
8:30 to 9:30 is not possible because 9:15 I have some call is
Oh,
there. So
okay.
that was unplanned actually for 1 week. It has been unplanned.
So you are
So
saying 8:15 your time, 8:15 to 9:15.
right, 9:15 I'll be available.
Okay, I'll try to be on that time. Okay, thank you.
Okay then, thanks. So tomorrow
Yeah.
8:15 will join.
8:15. Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay, thanks.